Assalamu alaikum listeners, this is Sarta Bani and you are tuning in to Pitch Talk on Inspire FM. In this show, we'll be talking about the latest cricket news, so if you do have any questions, feel free to phone Inspire FM and we will get those questions answered in the next show, inshallah. So I'll give you a brief overview of the topics which we will be discussing in today's show. The first news is about Pat Cummins, and he could participate in the third test match against England in the Ashes. The second news is about the Pakistani players. They are signing up for the Bangladesh Premier League. We'll get into that. The third news is about Sahibzada Farhan, as he's risen, in the rankings, IC rankings. So we'll get into that, and then we'll also discuss a bit about Mark Wood. And then if we do have time, we'll also get into one or two other latest cricket developments. So as I mentioned for the viewers and listeners, if you do have any questions, feel free to phone Inspire FM. We will get those questions answered in the next show, inshallah. So without further ado, moving to our first topic. The first news is about Pat Cummins. So Cricket Australia have announced a 15-member squad for the third Ashes test against England, scheduled to be played at the Adelaide Oval here from December 17th to the 21st of December. The squad will mark the return of Australian captain Pat Cummins, who has been out of action since the third test of the three-match away series against West Indies in July this year. So the skipper's return to the fold will serve as a big boost for Australia, who are currently leading in the five-match test series against England. Australia are leading 2-0, winning both fixtures in Perth and Brisbane very comprehensively by 8 wickets. And Australia's coach Andrew McDonald on Tuesday stressed and spoke about the importance of the fact that there were no concerns over Pat Cummins' injury and his participation ahead of the next third test match into the fixture, despite him being out of action since July because of a bone stress injury. So as McDonald said, his body is ready to go, and barring anything else happening in the next week, I'd be expecting Pat to be tossing the coin and putting the blazer on. He also said that there won't be any match opportunities for Pat, and this is something we've done with Pat before off long layoffs, so where we put some time and effort into rebuilding his body, so he is ready to play in this test match. He was out at Alam Border Field while everyone was out at the Gabba, so he simulated pretty much what a match will look like, and he done his bowling and his nets and his hard work with multiple spells, so we feel that he is best prepared as much as he can be for this test match. So talking about Australia's squad for the third Ashes test, Pat Cummins, the captain, Scott Boland, Alex Carey, Brendan Doggett, Cameron Green, Travis Head, Josh Inglis, Usman Khawaja, Marnus Labuschagne, Nathan Lyon, Michael Nessa, Steve Smith, Mitchell Starc, Jake Weatherald, and Bea Webster. So that is Australia's squad for the third test match. I'll also remind the listeners that Australia are currently leading the test series against England. So England have really got a point to prove in this test series. What plans will they come up in the third test match? What style of cricket will they play? Will they continue with their baseball approach, which is, failing miserably in this test series so far? Are they fully actually, living up to the expectations of baseball? Because the real test for baseball is in Australia against Australia in the Ashes. So will England really live up to their full game? Will they play to their full potential? Will their lineup and team have full accuracy and consistency in selection? And what will their mindset be and what will their plans be? That would be interesting for the third test match. Will they make changes in the 11? I'm sure there will be 2-3 changes at least, because England, I think this is a do or die test match for England. If they lose this test match, I think they lose the series. So no, I think they actually do lose the series because they've lost first 2 test matches. So if they lose the third test match, then Australia win the series 3-0. So then it'll be all over for England. And even if they win the last 2 test matches, yes, they might get some praise, but in the end, it's it's the same as before, same as the past. They lose the series again in Australia. So discussing the third news, which is about Ihsanullah and Head, they are among the 9 players who are granted NOCs for the BBL 2025. The Pakistan Cricket Board on Wednesday granted NOCs to 9 national cricketers, including Ihsanullah and Head, to participate in the Bangladesh Premier League 2025-2026. A total of 15 national cricketers have been roped in by different franchises for the upcoming edition of the BBL, which is scheduled to run from December the 26th to January the 23rd. 11 cricketers, Saim Ayub, Muhammad Amir, Ibrahim Ahmed, Usman Khan, Khwaja Nafi, Khushni Shah, Fahim Ashraf, Sufyan Mukim, Aqib Javed, Mohammad Nawaz and Sahibzada Farhan are directly signed. But four national cricketers, Ihsanullah Hyderani, Mohammad Akhlaq and Jahandad Khan, they are the attractive buyers at the players auction held in Dhaka on November the 30th. So if I were to discuss these four players, they've been in and out in the PSL, especially the likes of Ihsanullah, Mohammad Akhlaq and Jahandad Khan. Hyderani has had more regular chances in the PSL. But it would be good for these four players if they can get some opportunities in the Bangladesh Premier League, especially ahead of the World T20, which is scheduled to take place in February next year in 2026. So in Sri Lanka. So I'd say that these players, even though they are less likely to participate in the ICC event, performing in the Bangladesh Premier League will provide a very good case for them for selection, for consideration, for even for some of these players, consideration for the PSL, and possibly very less likely, but consideration for the Pakistan cricket team for the T20 setup. So Ihsanullah and Haider were roped in by Nakhoni Express in Category C of the foreign players, while Jahandad Khan was picked by Durbar Rajshahi in the same category for US $20,000. So Akhlaq, however, was signed by Rangpur Riders in Category D of foreign players for the for $10,000. So meanwhile, the PCB has granted approval to 9 national cricketers to participate in the league, and these approvals are valid until January the 23rd. So the Pakistan played have been granted NOCs by the PCB for the Bangladesh Premier League is Mohammad Nawaz, Hussain Talat, Ihsanullah Hyderani, Abrar Ahmed, Khwaja Nafi, Salman Irshad, Fahim Ashraf, and Sahibzada Farhan. So talking about Sahibzada Farhan, the next news is about him. Pakistan's top order batter Sahibzada Farhan makes a big stride in the latest ICC International Cricket Council's ranking, men's T20 batting rankings, which have been updated on Wednesday. Farhan, who has finished as the leading run scorer in the recently concluded home team T20 series against Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, has continued his brilliant form with consistent performances in the format, and he's gone past India Tilak Verma to secure the 5th place with 752 rating points. Discussing the all-rounders ranking for the shortest format continued to be dominated by Pakistan's Saim Ayub, who remained at the summit as the top, one of the top all-rounders, while India's counterpart Hardik Pandya climbed up 3 places to clinch 4th spot. Meanwhile, mid-order batter Saud Shakil broke into the top 10 of the men's test batting rankings, jumping 1 spot to clinch the 10th position. In the bowling rankings of the longest format, Pakistan spinner Nouman Ali slipped a spot to 4th as Australia's Mitchell Starc jumped 3 places to occupy 3rd position. There were plenty of movements in the men's ODI ranking, mainly in the batting, as the race to the top between India's experienced duo Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli has intensified a lot. Rohit Sharma leads the rankings with 781 rating points, just 8 clear the compatriot Kohli, who jumped 2 places, pipping New Zealand's Darren Mitchell and Afghanistan's Ibrahim Zadran to claim 2nd position. Furthermore, India's Kuldeep Yadav enjoyed the most significant stride, jumping 3 places to secure 3rd position in the men's ODI bowling's ranking, led by Afghanistan's Rashid Khan. Pakistan's bowlers also saw notable improvements in the ODI rankings, with Shaheen Shafii climbing 2 spots to 19th, while Haris Rauf jumps 1 place to claim 22nd position. Afghanistan's Azmatullah Omarzai remained at the summit of the at the top for the men's all-rounders rankings in ODIs. So it's interesting to see, because these rankings change every now and then. You sometimes see Pakistani players get up in the rankings, then you see them sometimes go down in the rankings. And if you were to discuss my opinion, if I was to talk about my opinion, my belief on these rankings, I don't really give them much importance. The biggest reason behind that is because they chop and change, and these rankings are not really... I don't know what the criteria for these rankings are. They're very actually confusing, because sometimes I see Babar Azam at the top of the rankings for 3-4 years at number 1. It doesn't make sense, because sometimes his performances go down, and then sometimes you see who are very low in the rankings, they get big strides into the rankings just over little performances. So I think the IC really need to evaluate their rankings criteria and the guidelines for these rankings, how they go up and down. I think it's something to look at personally if they want to really improve, their respect in international cricket, because these rankings really need to be taken seriously, because these players represent their countries at the top of at the highest level of cricket in competition. So I feel that if they're gonna give the rankings such less value, and if the rankings are gonna chop and change over very little good performances, or over very little bad performances, I feel it's not very good for international cricket in general and the growth of international cricket and the players' values, because some players who have a very high value, high reputation. So let's say someone like Virat Kohli, if his ranking goes very down over such little performances, it does not bring a good image to international cricket and even to his country's cricket, because these players are star icons and they're valued a lot in international cricket and cricket in general. They represent cricket as a whole. So I feel that if they're gonna, IC are gonna really give importance to these rankings and give value to them, I feel that these rankings are going to have to be given more priority and more importance at the highest of stages. And IC really need to bring a strict criteria on these rankings, whether it be bowlers, batsmen, all rounders, or wicket keepers. And even for the women's ranking as well, not just the men's ranking. So the next news is about right arm speedster England's Mark Wood. He's been ruled out of the remainder of the Ashes 2025. Against Australia due to a recurring left knee injury, and England and Wales Cricket Board confirmed this on Tuesday. So this is very sad for Mark Wood, as he's been ruled out of many series in the past. I think he's got ruled out in the past for a series against India. He's even got ruled out, I think, in the Ashes in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. So Wood, who underwent surgery on his left knee after England's bad IC Champions Trophy early this year, so made his long-awaited return to the competitive cricket last night in the Ashes series open in Perth. So it shows how long Mark Wood had to wait for his comeback. So because Mark Wood, as I mentioned, in the Champions Trophy earlier this year was his last campaign. So the 35-year-old bowled 11 overs across England's grueling 8-wicket defeat in the first test and remained wicketless. Wood was subsequently sent to a specialist after he complained of pain in his left knee. And Wood missed the second Ashes test, which saw England suffer another 8-wicket defeat and go down to a 0-2 series deficit. So not very good by England. And England and Durham seamer Mark Wood has been ruled out of the remainder of the Ashes tour of Australia, as I mentioned, because of the left knee injury as he sustained during the first test in Perth earlier this month. Wood will return home later this week and work closely with the England Cricket Board medical team on his rehabilitation and recovery. So Mark Wood, as a result, have been replaced by Surrey pacer Matthew Fisher, who has one test appearance for England, which came in 2022, three years ago against West Indies. So the 28-year-old is already in Australia, as he was representing England Lions on the tour, and he will link up with the senior men's team this week. So that's very good by him. So he's been with the England Lions team, so he's probably had good preparation, good rhythm in terms of bowling and fitness. So if he is expected to play in the next test match, he's kind of got his preparations ready. So Surrey seaman Matthew Fisher has been added to the senior squad and will link up with the group this week, having been in Australia with the Lions, England Lions, as the ECB announced. And it's very important to mention that the third Ashes test between Australia and England will be played in Adelaide from December the 17th to the December the 21st. So, if I were to discuss the next news, it's about Babar Azam, Pakistan's former Test captain Babar Azam. Pakistan star batsman Babar Azam has been allocated to a unique jersey number by Sydney Sixers for his participation in the Big Bash League 2025-2026, which is scheduled to take place in December the 14th to January the 25th. Widely regarded as one of the finest batsmen of the modern era and is very close to becoming one of the best batsmen Pakistan ever produced, Babar Azam was roped in by Sydney Sixers for the upcoming 15th edition of the BBL as a direct signing. To bank on the star's batter's fame, the Sixers launched a special fan zone in October titled Babaristan to celebrate the 31-year-old's maiden stint in the BBL and to give respect to him. Earlier that month, the Sixers also brought in experienced pacer Mitchell Starc, who has been leading the Australian men's cricket team's pace attack since his international debut in 2010. Stark's inclusion into the side meant that jersey numbers have been changed, and Babar Azam has done the number 56 international cricket and franchise leagues across the world. As a result, the Sydney Sixers have given the three-figure number to Babar Azam 056, while Stark will don his. So actually, what's happened here is Stark will don his usual number of 56, but Babar Azam has given the number 056. So same to probably show respect to him, because Babar Azam is one of the star icons of international cricket, and probably the biggest icon in Pakistan cricket at the moment. The Sixers have made this announcement by sharing a video on their social media handles, which featured Babar unveiling this jersey. And the franchise also shared photographs of the former Pakistan captain wearing the kit with a special number. Babar is expected to make his highly anticipated BBL debut on December the 14th, as Sydney Sixers are scheduled to take on Perth Scorchers in a big curtain raise at the latter's home ground, a big game which is looking to take place very soon. Meanwhile, several other Pakistan star players in the upcoming BBL season. Pakistan star pacer Shaheen Shah Afridi was picked by Brisbane Heats at the first overseas and platinum pick, while wicket batsman Mohammad Rizwan has joined the Melbourne Renegades. Right-arm pacer Haris Rauf has been retained by Melbourne Stars. Former Pakistan under-19 all-rounder Hassan Khan will return to the Renegades. Leg spinner and current Pakistan T20 vice-captain Shadab Khan has been signed with Sydney Thunder, and Pakistan star pacer generator Hassan Ali has been picked by Adelaide Strikers. So this BBL will probably be one of the most interesting of recent times, because we'll see the star Pakistan players participate. Babar Azam, Mohammad Raza, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Hassan Ali, Shadab Khan, they will participate in this, Australia league, Big Bash League. So I've mixed the two leagues up, but these, Big Bash League is where we'll see the biggest Pakistani players, and the Bangladesh Premier League is where we'll see probably the lesser stars Pakistani players. So moving on to the next topic, which is linked to Babar Azam. Pakistan star batsman Babar Azam on Sunday credited the Pakistan Super League for shaping his professional cricketing career, and he stated that it means a lot to him. Speaking in a panel discussion at the league's landmark roadshow at Lord's Cricket Ground, Babar Azam recalled getting the opportunity to learn from and share the dressing room with the top players during the earlier years of the PSL, and acknowledged that it was very helpful for him and vital for his growth as a person and a cricketer. His journey has been very good, he mentioned, and also the experience as a youngster when he played in the PSL. The only thing on his mind was that he should learn from the top players as much as he could. And then he shared the dressing room with many big players, and it helped him a lot as a person and as a cricketer. He said that he used to try and go and talk to established cricketers at the same time, such as Kumar Sangakkara, Chris Gayle, Andrew Russell, and Mahela Jayawardena, to share dressing room with them and observe the way they talk and what they teach us. He said that it helped him a lot in terms of his experience and his long journey, as well as his development as a cricketer and as a batsman. So Babar, especially as usual, credited the PSL for meeting his favourite player, A.B. de Villiers, describing it as a fan moment. Babar shared that the main thing was that he met his favourite international cricketer, his role model, A.B. de Villiers, because of the PSL. As A.B. de Villiers back in 2019 came to participate in the PSL as he played for Lahore Qalandars, and he spoke with Babar Azam about a lot of things. As Babar asked him about a lot of discussions related to cricket, and it was a big fan moment for him. The right-handed batter who made his debut in the PSL for Islamabad United in the inaugural season in 2016, before representing Karachi Kings and Peshawar Zalmi in multiple seasons respectively, described the tournament as a launching pad for his international career, which he has established used as a beacon to establish himself as one of the greatest, but one of the best batters Pakistan ever produced in recent time, but not in history yet. But as of yet, but he's close to that moment, but I wouldn't say in history as of yet. Meanwhile, it means a lot for him as a youngster. It was a platform for him, and as a senior player, he's gone through a long journey. He's invited youngsters to take this as an opportunity to groom themselves as players and learn as much as they can. So, discussing the Ashes, we'll move on to an interesting topic about the Ashes. We'll discuss why the pink ball has been used for day-night test matches, as it looks to probably improve visibility and as well as floodlights. And the reason why probably the pink ball is used in Ashes is very suitable during the day and the night, especially if the day-night test. If it's good to use a pink ball. Back in 2015, the ICC sanctioned it in hope that the audience would be encouraged and improved. The red ball was traditionally used in the Ashes series back in 1882 and is still used in daytime only matches, not day-night matches. So the pink ball was first introduced in the 2017 to 2018 series, and the red ball is not as visible in the floodlight condition. But however, in the 2025-2026 series, the pink ball was used in the second test in Brisbane, Australia, in Australia. So the pink ball are designed to provide balance and visibility in formats which was transitioned from daylight to floodlights during the day. So I think the pink ball tradition began in the late 2000s, having been a very important staple of international cricket. The pink ball has been used in 3 Ashes tests in Australia. There was one match in the 2017-2018 series and 2 in the 2021-2022 series, with Australia winning all 3 matches. There has never been a pink ball Ashes test in England, with the only day-night test in the country against West Indies in 2017. England won by an innings and 209 runs. There has been 24 day-night tests and 13 having been played in Australia. There are 12 of those 13 matches. So it's very interesting to see how England go about the third test match and what their plans and will probably be. Also, India will be playing South Africa today in the second T20, if I'm not mistaken. So this will take place in Punjab, so in the Mullanpur Stadium. A very difficult name to say. So that will probably be an interesting game to see. So going back to the Ashes, also West Indies are touring New Zealand. So we'll get into that as well. That what West Indies 11 has been. West Indies have had John Campbell, Brandon King, Kevin Hodge, Shai Hope, Russell Chase, Justin Greaves, Tevin Roach, Kemar Roach, still playing. Kemar Roach, still playing at the age of 37. Very surprising. Jaden Seas, Anderson Phillips, and OJ Shields. So, if I were to talk about New Zealand's 11, they made changes with Jalen Mitchell, Mitchell Hay, Glenn Phillips, Glenn Phillips, Blair Ticker, and Mitchell Ray. So this is the second test match they're playing. So if we were to discuss about the toss, I'd say if we discuss about who won the toss, New Zealand opted to bowl. And so far, if we were to discuss this test match, West Indies have banked first, 205 all out after 75 overs. John Campbell, 44 of 87. Brandon King, 33 of 55. Shai Hope, 47. Ross and Chase, 29. And then the rest was not much. The bowlers for New Zealand chipped in with Ticker taking 4 wickets and Mitchell Ray taking 3 wickets. We're going to discuss New Zealand's batting. Devon Conway, 60 of 108. Kane Williamson, 37 of 46. Mitchell Hayes, 61 of 93. John Mitchell, 25 of 52. Glenn Phillips, 18 of 27. Zachary Fulks, 23 of 43. So with that, New Zealand are 278 for 9 at the moment. West Indies are 32 for 2. So if we should talk about the bowlers, New Zealand, West Indies, who took wickets for West Indies. Anderson Phillips taking 3 wickets in 13 overs, after giving 17 runs at economy of 5.4. Kemar Roach, 16 overs, 6 maidens, 43 runs, 2 wickets at economy of 2.7. Russell takes 2 overs, 9 runs. He gave 1 wicket at economy of 4.5. West Indies 32 for 2. John Campbell 14 of 27. 3/4, 51.8. 5 was his strike rate. Brandon King 15 of 25. So strike rate of 60. So it's interesting to see that who will win in this test match. I say that mostly in New Zealand, the home conditions are mostly dominative and very likely to perform very well. So I say that they are most likely to win in this test match. And it's very interesting to see that who will win in the third test match between England and Australia. I'd say that I'll give Australia the benefit of the doubt. Not benefit of the doubt. Australia mostly won in these test series. So I'd say that Australia are most likely to probably win this test match, and especially Pat Cummins back in the 11. His bowling is amazing. He's very deadly in these conditions. I'd say his line length is phenomenal. He's one of the best bowlers in the world, especially in Test cricket. And his position as captain, even with the bat, his ability to score runs in the lower order is very crucial for Australia. In Australia's success in batting as well. They are able to gain momentum with his lower order cameos. So this is the topics which we discussed in today's show. In next week's show, we'll bring you with the next latest hot developments in international cricket and in cricket in general. So if you do have any questions, feel free to phone Inspire FM. And we will get some questions answered in the next show, inshallah. So this wraps up today's show. We discuss about different topics related to international cricket and even franchise cricket. So I will see you in the next show next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Coming up next, Ask Imam Show.
This is Inspire FM.
Inspire FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Amin Islam. My name is Abdullahi.
My name is Abbas Muhammad.
My name is Naima.
My name is Jannah Islam.
My name is Talha Krashi.
My name is Shahzadur Rahman.
My name is Abdul Razak.
My name is Aviv. Today I am here.
Mahukaring Masjid.